here, and basically the idea of it's good Sir Tim Berners-Lee visited Australia. I think he's still in here. Anyone visited his talk? Yeah, I saw him back in Queensland last week, and it was a great talk. And the quote I found from him is, "Mobile web initiative is important. Information must be seamlessly available on any device." And I bet all of you here, including me, have all those things floating around, and some of you play with the app, some of you don't. But the idea of building mobile application is not only relevant to Drupal, but what I decided to do, I just decided to show you some methods, pitfalls through the experience of a few years that I've been through. Let's get started. So basically, I'll split the presentation into 3 parts. The first part, it's mobile world. We talk about mobile world, mobile technologies, how we can apply them, how they get applied. Do you actually need them? Then we're going to build an app. It's going to be a very exciting app. And those of you who are sitting here probably saw, what app is that? And it's not the one available on App Store yet. So you'll be the first one to see. And then we're going to I'll take you through Drupal tools available, what you can use, what I use, how I build it, and we'll go from there. So quick about me, I've been in Drupal world for about 5 years. That's when I first saw Drupal. I'm working for a company called Technocrat, but they pretty much gave me to slavery to Flight Center guys. So that's what I do. There is no mobile involved where I am. The front-end guys doing mobile, but I'm doing all low-level stuff of product importing. But I've been working to a few studios as well for the last few years, and there was a lot of mobile initiatives. Mobile initiatives because a lot of the projects didn't resolve into anything, but I actually managed to collect the massive amount of code, experience, and information, which I didn't know where to put it. And eventually I said, hey, why not to create something useful out of it? And you can find me on Twitter on TSDev. If you want Drupal and the technical info, you can go to Technocrat and contact me through their Twitter, or just my personal Twitter. It's Vladimir AUS, and my name is Vladimir. All right, let's get started on mobile. So if you came here because you want to write the next version of Angry Birds and get millions, you won't get it. Not today, maybe tomorrow. I think there is a session about it, maybe. Yeah, but and it's definitely not about how you monetize your app. Through years of experience, especially working in smaller studios, I saw the tendency where customers comes in and say, hey, I want a website. And the company goes, all right. We can build your website, we get designers, we get developers, we got all the shenanigans you really want. And then the client goes, hey, but I got some data. For example, let's get a real experience. I'm a festival, Italian movie festival, and I have a timetable. Or I'm a DrupalCon, I have a timetable. It will be available to the app. And when I change the content on a website, I won't be available on there. And suddenly the price of the bill goes twice. And then the customer goes, but it's very similar. I'm putting content in one place. Why does it cost twice? So basically, initiative for this presentation is building trivial application prototypes. So you actually can show the client how it might look. You also, the most important thing, show the client's strategy, philosophy behind the data-driven application development process. So at one point, you would actually show, hey, here's how it works, and I need a bit more time to develop it. On the other hand, you also say, it shares some code, but it's not the same thing. We'll also show you how to connect your app to a Drupal and on the fly. So let's take mobile approach. I mean, there were a few things people saying, and Drupal 8 is actually mobile first, taking mobile first kind of approach with all the front-end developments and themes. And a lot of people saying, yeah, like Instagram is an awesome example where they said, nah, we don't want to be on the web until yesterday, I think, when they went on finally on the web. But we want to actually build mobile first. So mobile approach, it depends on your particular project, and we're going to talk about approach more focusing on our particular project, which is coming very soon. And another talk that can go forever, it's website against the application. Differences, bonuses, having one, having another. Is it good to have your application on the App Store, or is it better to concentrate on your responsive design website? Let's leave it all to the marketing, but let's say that here's a few points why do you need mobile application. Content needs to be available offline. So again, your timetable, you go into a bunker where DrupalCon is, you can't get out, there is no internet, you need to know your timetable. So here it is. Ability to save and sync content. Hey, I want to snap someone on a beach on Coogee and still keep it there, or I saw a photographer's website and there is an awesome picture there and I want to do something like that. So I don't know. And beyond the web functionality. What's beyond the web? The line is very murky. Now browsers have GPS detection and all of that stuff. But you know what I'm getting to. It's where something that your browser still can't do. So that's where we need the application. And I think it's a very distinct line when we got at least two of those three lines points. We need to build one. So Drupal at the moment, let's take the responsive design approach. It has an awesome tools available. Some of them good, some of them bad. Some of them good but very hard to configure. Some of them are opposite. I saw a lot of stuff from developers' perspectives and from designer perspective. Good and bad, but I'll just give you a list of mobile tools. Module is a great thing to look at. Not always works, but it's there. It's for you to see. Responsive themes. My favorite is Amiga. Basically, out of the box, give you the functionality of responsive design. 4 by default. You can go tablet quickly, very easy to build and put it on your website, and displays it in contests. When you actually want to say, for mobile phone, I want this. Sounds like responsive design, but you can actually put different contents, so different fields and stuff like that, using either display suite or contest. But that's not what we're talking about. And of course, if you want to web services, listen to Adri's note, there is a big mobile-oriented thought towards and initiatives towards Drupal 8 and how it's going to be mobile. That's awesome, but we're not at Drupal 8 stage, so we still need to build a client comes in, say, when my Italian Film Festival is months away. So let's talk about technologies available currently on the market. So we know there are native technologies, so something you go and build using the code Objective-C for iOS, C++ for BlackBerry, C# at the moment for Microsoft, Java for Android. You can also use frameworks. Great example and proof that Flash is not dead is Adobe Air. Thousands of apps are all Android, BlackBerry, and iOS stores, especially games. That's what the Flash is going to. But still, if you want to build an application, use one of the frameworks. And there is HTML5 alternative, something like jQuery Mobile. You can wrap it in a phone gap. There is API you can do. And use some of the features of your devices, like geolocation. Yeah, you name it. Phone gap is developing miles and miles and miles an hour, very fast, and there is lots of API available. And how about we'll actually build an application using Drupal? So the story. GoFest story, it's a very interesting one, and that's where I decided, hey, I go to movie festivals, I go to music festivals, I go to development conferences. How about I'll have one app That's very responsive, very nice, has a nice layout. And all I want is a timetable, my favorite stuff. Maybe later on we can rate something like that. So that's how idea of the Go Fest came up. And we can do it for DrupalCon, either a separate app, or we can do it in the same application, or we can actually have two applications. One is generic for every festival we can get around, and another one that's just sits and can be used for all DrupalCons. Why not? So here's GoFest story, and I see you a bit starting to sleep, so let's do some audience participation. So I built the GoFest 1.0 about a year ago. We put, so who wants to be a website? I'll show you how it was. Come on.
I'll be a website.
Here you go. Here's a Drupal website. And who wants to be a mobile device? What's your preference?
Sure,
oh, that's a question. Here you go. So we build a website, we build a mobile application, and make them communicate to each other. Who wants to be iPhone? Nah, I'm all right. And we made them communicate to each other. So basically just providing data from website to website, and then go to phone. And you can get, yeah, pretty much any festival. So I keep working on by myself, just providing data to my website. And what happens next? Next, there's come few issues, so I have to actually patch. Where are my patches? I have to patch a website, and then the issues come with mobile application. So I patch the website. Thank you very much. I patch my mobile application, and but no one else was putting the content. Then I decided, okay, I need some more people who wants to do it for free or whatever. So after spending a weekend with my wife, she said, you know what? Your content editing is crap. I had enough. I had a few hours of putting the stuff in, and thanks, guys. And yeah, I'm sick of it. It was pretty bad, and it was just standard Drupal stuff. So you have a session, you have a festival, you have a presenter, and all this stuff. And after that, I realized, so it's not only about building the stuff that works, because that worked fine, and but it's actually the content editing was another very, very important thing for mobile applications. And yeah, as you can see, I ran into the problem just by having this awesome idea. So I thought, hey, how about I'll rethink it and make it available to the public. Not necessarily people can go and upload the content, modify the website, but some easier way for me to do it. The choice for Air was, I was researching Air at the moment. For people who don't know, Air is a package that allows you to wrap around Flash and deliver it to BlackBerry, Android, and iOS. It's still available, still kicking, and still pretty good. Used a lot of in-gaming. So let's finally build the application. So I decided for the next version of it, let's do HTML. Why not? HTML is a new black. How about we actually do the DrupalCon app? I don't know if there are any Apple haters that hate it for me, but that's a generic name I came up with. And what do we need? We need a list of sessions, like this one. We need the ability to sort those sessions. We need individual sessions and add to favorite session. By the way, how many people here using the actual app that was written by Cross-Functional? Good, more than half. Great app. And if you guys are in room, good effort. I think we should keep coming. But at the same time, I went on the App Store and downloaded another DrupalCon app from previous year. It was still available, but the content wasn't working. I don't know, either server was dead or something happened. And here comes another problem. We actually have to, if we are providing the application, we either have to delete it after it's been used or provide the support for it, because no one wants to download your application and see it's actually falling apart right there. But last feature I wanted to show you, and that's where our demo gonna be, it's syncing. Not only syncing session, but what about if you want some critical data update, like maps, for example, for us, because what if something changes quickly, and if you push it to App Store, it can take up to 2 weeks, depending on the period, how busy they are, and you don't want data that's supposed to be available tomorrow, available in 2 weeks when no one cares about it. So delivery is very, very, very important for this. And let's use Drupal. How about that? So we provide the data to Drupal, and we focus on delivering those 3 particular things. I'll tell you that focus is really important, because how many people actually build their mobile application? Few. Good. You know that especially if you're doing something for yourself, or something that's not restricted by budgets, you can easily go out of scope. You say, oh, that would be nice. Oh, that doesn't work right. I want this. I want that. And yeah, it just can go out of hand very, very quickly. So it's not only development, as we saw. It's a content editing. It's a data structure. And I decided, how about for content entering, rather than going and teaching someone how to use a Drupal, I'm going to use Google Docs and improve the structure. The original application worked this way. I would go to a Drupal website. I would create a new session at the times, create a presenter, connect the presenter to a session, connect it to a particular event. Depending on the rooms, I also create a room. So you get in it. It's a bit of a complex structure. But yeah, in the long run, it was kind of very hard to start. Imagine you have 5 different rooms running at the same time for 2 days. It's you will spend a lot of time actually entering each sessions in. And for a lot of the festivals and a lot of events, those information is not available. It's not really trivial to retrieve it. So for improved GoFest 2 engine, so GoFest is just an engine I was using. We're just going to store data in common place, like a Drupal website, read data. Store data in a common place, read data into Drupal, provide the data for application, and then application going to read data and render it the way it wants. So I decided to use Google Docs, just a spreadsheet, because we can publish spreadsheet as a JSON or XML for those of you who wants to go big technical. So I'm going to read data using Drupal, using feeds. I'm going to provide later on output using views, JSON, and then my mobile application going to read it. For kind of structure, you can see I set up feeds. So I set up festival info importer, location importer. So basically each importer go to a particular tab you set up in feeds and grab the data it needs. There was a bit of core modification, not core, feeds core modification needs to be done because the patch wasn't applied. And I did it about a month ago. But at the same time, it worked fine. It was reading Google Docs fine, actually connecting the entities to each other, no problem. And taxonomies. I set up taxonomies as well. And there was also one of the patches also helped to connect taxonomies to particular festivals or so for example, if you go performance tag 1, 2, and 3, in this case were room for our DrupalCon app, it was room, it was track, and it was is it featured or not. So I basically set up like a common tag, so you can, depending on the festival, you can change them the way you want to. And then I built the app. So basically, as we were planning, we have our list of sessions, which you can see on screenshot 2. We had our help, which is basically your Drupal pages. And we can actually click on them. We can add them to favorites. We can sort data by date, title, track, or room. And we can view our favorites. So now I'm going to demo you the app. This is built for iPhone, but because it's HTML5, you can easily port it to the other devices. Thank you. So we have a list of sessions, that one that comes with the app, because remember, if we don't want to actually go and grab the stuff from the web, unless the web is not available. So there was some stuff that came with the session. And once we click on the session, we can actually go and check. And the summary is pretty small there. And but we can see pretty much everything we want. We can see room, track, speaker, the level we want. We can sort by title, track, room, and date. Track even have different things. That all comes with the for the Drupal website. But remember, we didn't connect to a Drupal website yet. We can actually add stuff to the favorites and can see our favorites straight away. So that was easy, using just jQuery mobile, stuff like that. Then it was more interesting part, where we go to information. We have something like about DrupalCon and about this application, and I even added check for updates. That's where we're going to go to a website. And when you click on it, so for example, if you want to update your terms and conditions, you no longer have to update your application. This means your application can be reused just by using data. And if we check for updates, you'll see that about an app, once it's connected to the help, it's going to change the name of about app too. So to prove I'm not lying, I'm actually going to go to my Drupal website. Look at the content. And we should see something that called like about an app too. And we're going to modify it if we're going to have an internet. Come on. Get in there. So next time, when the person goes, say, check for updates, or we can even build like, if anyone today opened the application, they saw there's update available, we can do even stuff like that. But anyway, we'll go and edit saying about a hello from DrupalCon Sydney, or hello from Sydney, or something like that, and see if it actually works. The data sent by views, and the views set up so they actually send the JSON feed. So if you don't see it, it's just your normal JSON, whoever's familiar with. And yeah, so that's basically what application is reading is those things. In the future, there is an idea of actually sending the date when it was updated, so it actually goes and checks, oh yeah, there is an update. So by now we should have stuff available. So if we'll do check for updates one more time, we should see hello from Sydney. Yeah, this website, the one that I updated, it sits on a hosting somewhere, maybe in Melbourne or Sydney, and yeah. So that was exactly what we wanted. We have our sessions. Still got our favorite sessions. So that was an app, but it's not the end. So we can see we can do a lot of stuff with it. We can search sessions. We can leave a feedback. And for a feedback, you won't use the functionality I did. You can actually use something like services. But I think we've done enough. We showed that, well, don't do it to me, please. I think I just ran out of this space. So I want to announce mobile initiative, and that's the main, the most important thing of our topic. So let's just.
If you want a quick Photoshop, use a lot of them virtually.
let's quit everything. But I think we should still quit the
We can talk amongst
Chrome.
ourselves from
Ah.
the start.
That's all right.
It's a time to reflect on life.
So mobile initiative is something that I want to provide people with, not necessarily from Drupal community, but everyone. And it's going to be separated from Drupal all entirely. But what it's going to have set of scripts you can pull from offline and build your application based on your website. It's also going to have a bunch of Drupal stuff, like modules, features that you can put in and build your basic stuff. Again, it's not about building the complete application. It's about build a trivial application. I mean, how many companies are there that actually want a simple timetable application? DrupalCon is one example, and we can actually, extend this application and build very good one which can use on any DrupalCon. We can go and build something, some other stuff that's very familiar, like your standard information application. Oh, I blew it. Not my joke. Sorry, guys. So again, let's go. Sorry, technical difficulties. So again, one initiative is complete Drupal iDrupalCon application in HTML that's going to be published in shop this month. The stuff you saw, it's a base for it. It's available on GitHub, so anyone can go, take it, pull it apart, see how it's done, or build something like that if you need to. In the future, idea is create a Vue plugin where you can go and say, I want HTML app, and it's going to spit you HTML for your standard stuff. Again, don't look at it as a complete application, but you can quickly show to the client who comes in and say, hey, I got a conference, I have a festival. How about you build me something that is very sortable and can get my data from my Drupal website to there? You can say, yeah, I can do that pretty quickly. I'll just download this thing, which has timetable already. It might not look like you want to, but at least you will see, do you actually really need it? Or you might just use responsive design. And at the moment, I'm working with a few people to provide the native alternatives for iOS, Android, and possibly Windows 8 at the moment. So it depends how people are available or how much time we have. There's definitely one coming out in March for iOS. So basically, it means whatever you saw today in HTML5 going to be available alternative for iOS, where you can quickly get the code, compile it, and get the application running and show it to the client. I set up the board on Trello. Any Trello users? Yeah, Trello is basically simplified Jira if you used Jira before. If not, it's pretty much tasks you set up and you can collaborate with people. Very popular app at the moment. Adobe uses it. You can set up open and close project and pretty much manage people and manage their tasks. So I set up a board on Trello. The code for the application you saw is also available on GitHub. So you can grab this application at the moment, and I'm going to be updating it as well. And we got a web page coming very soon. We have a Views plugin, again, as I said, coming very soon to GitHub. Not sure when it's going to be available as a proper module, because there is a lot of testing involved and stuff like that. But we'll try to provide, the idea is to provide the actual very slick way to get your website and convert it into the app and show, hey, here you go. It's your standard app. You can use it. And Drupal.org page coming as soon as we get all the bits together, so we can actually publish all the links there. At the moment, I think Trello is a good way to use it. So in the conclusion, I want to concentrate on a few things. Drupal tools. view services, I should add feeds. So whatever you need something, whenever you need to feed your app, you should use one of the languages that the app understands, like XML or JSON or whatever. First, this talk's supposed to be a more technical talk. So later on, I converted it in because I was moved to a site building session. So I decided to show something and talk about tips and tricks more. So whatever you need something and you want to build something, you know that the views, services, and feeds are your friends. In terms of Drupal, you already have tools. You don't need to invent anything else. Again, a DrupalCon application, I think it's a great idea. Would be a success or not, it's not that. But the idea is there is a very easy way to provide, just copy and paste your sessions into Google Docs spreadsheet. And your website pick it up from there using services. Digest it all. And then the data is going to be available on your website. But at the same time, there's going to be a JSON feed that's actually available to your application. And once application is ready, you can set up whatever you really want. The basic idea is why this initiative is separate from Drupal stuff is because you can actually create services using whatever you want. You can set up services, any language or any platform. So basically, in the long run, the idea is, hey, I have I won't say curse word, Joomla website, and I want to pass some data from Joomla to my app. You still can do it. So basically, the idea to have we start building it on top of the Drupal community because I think it's the best way at the moment to deliver the content as a website, as well as deliver the content as a technology for application to read. And the main focus at the moment is to be fast and focused. I don't want anyone downloading the code and saying, oh, I don't know how to connect this to data. We actually wanted to make really slick, where you go to your website, install the feature, and the feature says, all right, now you can download this code and change 1 or 2 lines, or maybe don't change anything. And that would be the stage 1. The stage 2 would be, we got views. How about, here's my data. Here's what I want to be available for my application. Publish me an app. And the view is going to spit you an app. So you can grab the HTML code and the stage 3 native code. Then you can compile your app and show it to your client. So that's the main idea. Do we have any questions? No questions at all? I understand it's the last session of the world, so I guess then we should go and one question. I won't show you half then.
Could you talk a bit about how you built the app that pulls in the data from Drupal? Like, could you use something like PhoneGap or jQuery Mobile to build that?
Yep. Yeah, I can definitely. So yes, I use jQuery and jQuery Mobile and a PhoneGap because I'm a subscriber to PhoneGap services. How many people know what PhoneGap is? How many people know what PhoneGap build is? Few. All right, I'll tell you that first. So basically, PhoneGap, it's a library written by a few guys. And what they focused on, they decided, hey, we have this all HTML stuff. How about we provide a library that connect Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone? They got about 6 operating systems available. How about we'll provide the APIs for that and using just JavaScript, you can control, like, you can read geolocation, you can take a photo with the device if it's available, and whatever. So they started building it, and then Adobe acquired them, and Adobe said, we're not that evil, as Dri said today, but so we want to contribute to the community. So they took the code and they contributed to Apache as So it's always going to be open source and it's always going to be available, which is a great thing for especially mobile project, and which targets so many platforms. But at the same time, those guys who build PhoneGap say, hey, we want to make some money. How about we create this stuff called PhoneGap Build? When it was created, it wasn't any money initiatives, but at the moment, Adobe is actually charging for using one of their services, and if you subscribe to their Creative Suite, it's available. Basically, what it does, you know that if you're building an application, you need like a compiler for each environment. And in case of iOS, iPhones, in case of Windows, you actually need certificates. And certificates, you only get them when you pay $100 to Apple, $100 to Microsoft and stuff like that. But you can only build Apple application, native Apple application on Apple, iOS application. You can only build native Windows 8 application on Windows. So there was a bit of a problem, like which operating system to use. And for a normal developer, having multiple operating systems was a bit of a problem. So PhoneGap Build, it's a service online where you can upload your PhoneGap application, and it will speed up, depending on your certificates and settings, it will speed up the application for you, for Windows 8, for BlackBerry, for Android. And they even provide you a QR code. You can scan, and it will download it to your device. It works with Android, it works with iOS. And test it. So what I did, back to the application, what I did, I use, a lot of people were saying that jQuery mobile is really, a lot of HTML stuff actually, let's not talk about names at the moment. A lot of HTML applications are very draggy, you know, they lagging sometimes. And that's true in many cases. You can see the examples. Yeah, you don't have to go too far. Download any HTML app. You'll see something that is not smooth as the screen. Like, for example, when I built first PhoneGap, the scrolling of the listing was smooth as using Flash. But when I built it first time in HTML, the list scrolling wasn't as nice. Like at the moment, it's not running. It's a lot of memory. So at the moment, when you scroll it, it's kind of nice. But this is all CSS tricks. So I decided, okay, I'm going to build it in jQuery mobile, whatever it costs, and see actually how I can improve it. Yes, there was a bit of tweaks. And I can say probably developing with HTML is harder than developing with Objective-C and Java for Android and stuff like that. But it's only in the case when you know Java, Objective-C, and a lot of stuff. Most of us are web developers here, and web developers do know the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So there is a bit of tweaking being done, especially to CSS. JavaScript is pretty much straightforward. I use just jQuery libraries for reading Ajax and stuff like that. Testing was another problem. There are a lot of stuff for testing to set up, but you need a server. You need the server to actually, for app to communicate. And preferably, you need the stuff sitting, like your data sitting on the same server, because there is a security policy which doesn't allow you to read some script from the other website unless you know a couple of tricks or you're using some particular data format. So there were a few bumps, and if you want to talk about like how to deliver your PhoneGap app, we can take it offline and go from there. But in the end, what I did, PhoneGap changes a lot. Before, they provide you a module where you go to Xcode, which is a tool that allows you to build iPhone apps, and say a new PhoneGap application, and you have your template. You just drag your www folder and click build, and it appears on your phone. Now they actually provide you with a script where you go and say build an application name, and it builds you the actual application, and then you drag the folder. So pretty much similar way, only you use the terminal a bit. So that was my experience. The whole process of the building this particular app took about 2 weeks after work. So it's not 2 weeks full time. But there is a lot of minor tweaking. Like even sometimes because jQuery comes with a lot of CSS and stuff like that. Actually fixing sometimes, I don't know, positioning can be harder than you think. And then there is a lot of tweaking stuff that's glitching because Apple's using different JavaScript processing library and stuff like that. So it's a lot of minor stuff that you actually need to look at, but it comes with any mobile application. Yeah.
That application, did you use any offline storage?
I use the HTML database, which is, yeah, pretty much offline storage, HTML5, local storage, HTML5, yep. So, yeah, I use as many HTML5 tools as I can. Yep.
Are you also using Backbone? Backbone.js?
No,
As a framework with jQuery mobile?
No, I didn't go this way because I have a friend who decided to go. I wanted to build it quick, and I know it seems like using a framework with a phone gap seems to be a right way to go. But I decided, okay, how about I'll just use jQuery. I just wanted to see the performance on jQuery mobile. So I thought, yeah, let's go this way and just use jQuery mobile. We can introduce later. Another story, my friend was doing the website, and they decided to use one of the frameworks like Backbone.js. They decided to go with Knockout. If you heard about Knockout, which is now part of the Microsoft. I think Microsoft got the guy who wrote an account. Very interesting framework, and actually was at the moment, which was about a year ago, was they just released Knockout too, and it was very interesting to see. But we ran into the few problems which weren't that trivial to fix, where it works fine. Basically, for those who don't know what frameworks we're talking about, it's something that connects your UI with your data. For example, if we look at our application, we have data, so like a session. So we have a session data, title, and all its description. And we also have a visual component to it. In that case, it's your list, so unnumbered list. So in case you say, I want to delete this session, you have to go delete the data from your JavaScript, from your or your SQL, whatever you store it. And you also have to delete this li tag. So, and lots of frameworks that actually connect visual stuff to a data. So when you go and say through Backbone or through Knockout, say, I want to delete this particular element in array with applied agile for Drupal project, it would go and delete li because it's connected to it. That was a good idea until we ran into the problems where it wasn't that easy to bind the form. So we have a form. For example, we want to edit the session. So we click on it, go to the form. So it puts title as applied agile for Drupal development project. So we can edit it, save it. But when we go to the same form, deleting the other stuff, it wasn't actually working that well because it couldn't properly unbind the previous process. So it was only working for some. So each framework comes with its limitation. And I say, hey, how about we'll focus, as I said before, and actually get the jQuery stuff out. And it's pretty much ready to go. And when it's ready, we're going to improve it bit by bit. Because, again, with this project, it can go as big as you want to because no one pays you for it. And, yeah. So focus of that application was jQuery mobile and PhoneGap.
Do you know what the differences between using PhoneGap and the new Firefox marketplace, HTML5 marketplace?
No, I saw Firefox Marketplace. Someone sent me a link a couple of days ago, and it looks very, very promising. But
I had a brief look, so you can install an app on any device. You know,
Yep.
It can be on Android or iPhone or Windows or Mac, the Ubuntu. So I tried out TweetDeck and I tried out the Twitter app, and it seemed pretty powerful.
that's awesome. Yeah, for people who don't know, the Firefox also announced Firefox OS, which is part of this whole initiative. So they definitely going into mobile market, so it's going to be even more exciting. You have more frameworks and stuff to work with. Any more questions? So then I guess I'll ask a few questions, people. So do you actually feel when you open your application, because everyone works with application, do you feel if it's written in HTML or if it's native? Did you have any bad experience, good experience? Anyone?
As a developer, I would know it's an HTML5 based application, it's a pure native. Problem is with, as you say, with jQuery mobile, can have flickers and not native scrolling. So you know straight away it's not a native application, HTML5. But I think there are plugins available that gives you that native functionality now. Like iScroll is good for smooth scrolling. But yeah, with jQuery mobile there's always some tweaks. But I think the new ones have improved a lot.
Hmm.
They do smooth animations and I used to get flickers. So.
If we talk about enterprise size stuff, Facebook is a perfect example. So how many people would say that 3 months ago Facebook was HTML based? Would you say it? So what changed since they moved to native? Any particular changes? Because apart from lacking of share button, I wouldn't say it was that much different.
I think I've heard from,
Hmm.
I think conventional users have felt the difference, not just developers. I've heard feedback that it's much better.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I used Facebook there and I actually couldn't tell. My experience with old Facebook app was pretty good, so I didn't have any lagging and stuff. I was just always wondering why there is no share button, but apparently that was also a big drag for Facebook, so they moved to native.
I think it was the guys from Titanium built Facebook app in HTML5.
Yep.
To compare it with the native
Mm.
app. And the Titanium JavaScript HTML5 app was as fast, if not significantly
Mm.
faster.
A lot of its apps in the App Store are made in titanium, wrapped in a native shell. That's what most of them are.
Titanium is one of these, again, HTML frameworks.
I think Titanium had issues with licensing because they went after developers asking for money from them.
Yeah, that's the same, like Titanium, Corona.
They don't have a clear policy on licensing.
It's all new, and that's what's exciting. Like doing this talk in 4 months, it would be a bunch of new tools coming into market, and even a bunch of new names, like Firefox now coming on soon. So, any more questions?
Can we use your app to build?
You can take the code. I can install on Android.
It's not in the App Store?
Not yet. We going through. I decided to polish it rather than publish it, especially when the guys from CrossFund. Because when I started building, there was no app for DrupalCon Sydney, so I was like, quick, let's build it. And then the app was published. So I decided, okay, I'll just leave it, and yeah, make it better. So for the next DrupalCon, I'll make it available, and you can even download it now if you want to play with the code or you want to improve it in some places. This is a great example of how to use jQuery mobile. Yep.
Just one last question. Are you able to push notifications with?
You can do push notifications. PhoneGap runs on a plugin basis. They wrote a plugin thing where people can go and write a plugin. If you don't have something for iOS or Android, you can go and say plugin. Write a plugin and yeah, create it. So there is a plugin that does push notifications for HTML. You can do proper push notifications. Yep.
I think there's a Drupal distribution for Drupal camps and Drupal columns. Did you know that?
No, I haven't seen. I saw.
So all of the Drupal columns use the same Drupal distribution. So maybe the app should be part of that.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to when we'll make it available. The code is already there. They can take it, they can use it whatever which way we like, and we can contribute it free of charge and no ads. So yeah, it's, I guess, I will contact them as soon as wasn't on priority list because I was trying to get it, as smooth as possible.
With the Adobe Air stuff, did you say it was faster than doing HTML?
It was definitely smoother. Yeah.
Do you need a license to do it, or is it like Flex where you can just kind of compile it yourself?
Air itself, as a framework, you can download it and you can build apps from a command line.
Yeah.
If you want to build it from Flash, you need to buy Flash. Once you get one of the apps, which used to be a Flash Builder, now Flash Builder, they submit Flash Builder to Apache, so Flash Builder is free. So if you grab Flash Builder from Apache, and if you go and download Adobe Air, and they've got a bunch of tutorials how to put them together and build stuff, Air is great stuff.
So that's free and fast then?
I didn't do benchmarking, but it's definitely smoother than HTML, I'll give you that. I never had, that looks ugly. Flash looks crisp on a mobile device, and they keep improving.
It's actually assembled.
Well, they converting it, I mean,
It's compiled and assembled.
yeah.
No one will do
Application delivered in Flash looks crisp. Let's put it this way. Any more questions? So again, you can, let's enjoy the beach. And if you want to contact me, go to the Technocrat booth or go to the Technocrat websites. My contact details are there. Thank you, guys.